Hey guys, Ryan here, and today I'm doing a big update video here on the silly season because we just had two fairly fairly important um, pieces to the silly season that have come out in like the last 48 hours, in like the last 2 days or so. Um, and of course, I'm gonna start off here with the earlier easiest part, but yeah, the easiest part of the silly season is the part we pretty much all already knew about. Um, yeah, it was Christopher Bell. He was now officially confirmed that he will be at that number 90, or that he will be at the 95. Um, so no longer do we have any of the confusion. Like, okay, like who's gonna be like? Is it gonna be Christopher Bell? It is confirmed that it will be Christopher Bell at the 95. Sorry if I'm a little bit sidetracked. But yeah, so Christopher Bell to the 95. If you weren't expecting this, I don't know where you've been, if like what you've been doing to try and follow the series exactly. I mean, I feel like there's been a lot of hints. I mean, he signed the deal with Joe Gibbs Racing back in June. This is basically Joe Gibbs Racing leasing out a driver to Levine. Um, but yeah, and then we had the announcement at Bristol where DiBenedetto announced that he is now out at Levine, that he was going to be out at Levine Family Racing at the end of the year. That was not necessarily not super surprising because we've seen drivers before kind of come into that team and leave within very short periods of time. Of course, at the beginning of the year, we thought he was on a 2-year deal. Of course, that ended up being a 1-year deal with a 1-year option to extend, which Joe Gibbs and no, Levine did not pick up that option, and instead now he will be going to the 21. But more importantly, now Christopher Bell, who has been tearing through the Xfinity Series win-wise, of course he hasn't actually gotten a championship yet in the Xfinity Series. Does he have? He got the truck title, right? I'm trying to think. I think he did get a truck title. But yeah, and of course he's gonna be in Cup next year, so this is shaping up though that it could be one of the better Rookie of the Year battles that we've seen in a while between him, Tyler Reddick, and Cole Custer. And I don't know if anyone else would really be able to make it up in time. Like I don't know if Chase Briscoe would be able to find a ride in Cup in time to make it for the 2020 season. I don't know if someone like Austin Cindric would find a ride at like a full time Penske ride in time. And then there's also the overall just kind of the shock though that came out roughly about I think 2 hours ago, if I'm remembering correctly. I'm gonna quickly check to see when the tweet was. Um, but yeah, Roush Fenway though made probably one of the biggest announcements that's come out this off season. Roush Fenway Racing. There we go. But yeah, they announced though that Ricky Stenhouse Jr. would not stay at the team, and instead Chris Buescher will be coming back to Roush Fenway Racing's stable to drive that number 17 car. I mean, and I'm gonna start off kind of talking about this part here. Um, but the when it comes to Roush Fenway Racing, I feel like I'd like to see them if they had the sponsorship to up the number of races or up the number of cars on that team again. But as of right now, they're a two-car team that's kind of been about middle of the pack since about 2008, 2007 ish. I'd say is about when they were really going downhill. And then you had guys like Matt Kenseth, Carl Edwards both leave that team in a 2-year span, and then you were left with Greg Biffle and two guys that were young rookies who really didn't know what they were doing in Stenhouse and Trevor Bain. And of course Trevor Bain never really developed, and so far Stenhouse hasn't really developed either. So no, it's been kind of a question of how much longer are they willing to stay with those drivers, and apparently Bain he had until last year, and this year, uh, yeah, Stenhouse is apparently up, even though at the beginning of last month we had it reported that Stenhouse had a deal through 2021. I don't know if, and I thought that Busher had a deal through 2021 as well. So maybe this is just a trade between the two teams. I mean, Stenhouse to 37 possibly. I've heard the 38 mentioned. I really don't want to see anyone touch that 34 car. Like, keep it in Michael McDowell's hands. Let him do what he can with it, please. Um, yeah. So you've got, but this announcement though, I mean, it shakes up everything. Because now, who goes to the 37? Is that maybe a landing spot for Daniel Hemrick? Is it maybe a landing spot for Stenhouse? The 38 is still open. Is that a landing spot for someone like LaJoy? I think LaJoy stays at the 32, but of course we don't know. I mean, there's so many different landing spots and whatnot for so many drivers right now. Really predicting it's going to be tough. I thought from what I knew, I thought Stenhouse was staying there for at least the next 2 years. So I guess Stenhouse is going to be getting a new number at some point here. Hopefully, I mean, I'm still expecting him to be in the Cup Series next year, but yeah. So overall, though, there's just been a ton of stuff though around that team that I mean, I like Roush. I mean, I've loved a lot of their drivers over the years. I like Stenhouse. I loved Kenseth, Edwards, Biffle, all these drivers. I just don't understand their business decisions some of the time. I mean, but yeah. But right now, this one I do somewhat understand because Stenhouse hasn't really performed up to the level that his equipment is supposed to. Granted, I don't know if Buescher's going to be able to do all that much better, but Buescher is at least they're doing something to try and improve. So I got to give him props there. Chris Buescher, I'm excited for him to be getting another opportunity at another ride. Of course, it looked like I'd actually say probably a JTG ride might even be better than a Roush Fenway ride at this point, though, just because they've got that full-on Hendrick support, which is a fairly small alliance at this point. I mean, it's Hendrick, Ganassi, and the two JTG cars for the alliance. So I mean, overall, I'd say that alliance might be the best one to be a part of. At least when you're as long as it stays small like that. I mean, that's the problem with alliances such as the RCR alliance because they're aligned with the two RCR cars, the 13 of Germain Racing, the 43 of Bubba Wallace, the 00 of Landon Castle, and like three other Chevrolet teams I think are also aligned with um them. So yeah, definitely though, I think this is a big win for Chris Buescher. I mean, it basically secures up where he's gonna be. It's a big loss for Stenhouse because, of course, he doesn't have necessarily the best track record in the last year and a half, especially considering what just happened at Richmond. I guarantee that a team like Joe Gibbs isn't picking him up next year. Even I could see him maybe go down to an Xfinity program for some team and try and work his way basically up through the ladder system of some other team. I mean, maybe he goes to SHR Xfinity until um, Harvick retires, or maybe he goes um, to like Penske's Xfinity program and races out most of the rest of his career, but maybe gets one or two more years in the series when someone like Keselowski or Logano retires. So Um, Potentially. I mean, of course, the Penske ride would be much further down the road, and even Harvick, I don't see him retiring for a number of years. But going back to Xfinity, proving that that he is at least a regular Xfinity champion, I think would be a good move. If he can't get a JTG ride or maybe even a front row ride. Now, of course, is a front row ride really competitive? Hard to say. I'd like to see Stenhouse go to Front Row Motorsports at the 38, but I think that team's too closely aligned with Roush Fenway to really realistically happen. Like, I think because there is an alliance there between those teams. I think that is too tightly knit. Where's where's Matt Tiff's gonna go? I mean, that's another one we're still waiting on to hear. I believe he's gonna be probably staying at that 36 car. But yeah, this one though caught a lot of people. I mean, just a ton of us were caught by surprise by this announcement that Stenhouse is gone and Chris Buescher's coming in. A lot of people are probably excited. A lot of people are probably upset. I'm personally a bit upset over this one purely because I'm a Stenhouse fan and I want to see him do well. But I'm not. I understand the business decision behind it. Stenhouse has not performed as well, so bringing in a new driver, especially one that has performed pretty well for the equipment he's in. I mean, Chris Buescher, he has a cup win. Stenhouse only has two, so I mean, it's not a big difference there. All three of those races were fairly lucky situations. But yeah, so I'm sure you guys have already let me know down in the comments below, but uh, what do you guys think about this one? Where do you think Stenhouse lands? Where do you think some of these other guys land? Like, who fills out that 37 car? Who fills out the 38 car? Does Stenhouse just leave completely? Like, where do. And there's just so many loose ends left from this big announcement that now it's a question of where do we go with this? Like, okay, do we go with Stenhouse going to the 37? Does he go to the 38? Does he leave entirely? And that opens up a chance maybe for someone like a Chase Briscoe to maybe go to the 38 next year. But yeah, so that's all I really had though for this episode. I wanted to get this out of the way here. Get this big news out of the way. Um, but yeah, just this was a shock for me. So hopefully you guys enjoy your Wednesday evening when this is coming out. So um, but yeah, just big shock there. Links down below in the description if you guys want to support the channel. Um, and but yeah, also just kind of gonna restate something I said in the video the other day. I will be at Martinsville, so if any of you guys are looking to meet me, I'll be there. Feel free to come find me, say hi. I'll be doing a vlog of that one. Also, Bristol vlog should be out tomorrow. I keep saying I want to get it done. I just need to find the time to actually edit it because I'm like the slowest editor in the world for some reason. So yeah, have a little bit of patience with me. I hope for tomorrow or Friday to have that done, but just we keep getting silly season announcement after silly season announcement, and then all of a sudden the Charlotte Roval's here. Wait a minute, wait. Roval's coming up? Okay. Well, I should hopefully have that up before the Charlotte Roval on Sunday. I might have one more video up before Sunday Charlotte Roval as well. I'm not really sure about that though, so not going to promise any other videos this week except for that Bristol race review. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed, and I'm not going to keep you guys any longer. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.